decided not to draft a rookie quarterback.
I know.
With the 9th pick last night, to my shock. They did take corner Patrick Surtain instead, which is a great pick.
Yeah, great player.
There's also some rumors the Broncos could be landing Aaron Rodgers if he is traded, obviously, which kind of it feels like there might be a little meat to it since they did have the opportunity to take Mac Jones or Justin Fields there. But GM George Payton says the team's happy with Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock as the 2 quarterbacks on their roster.
Drew's been working hard every day. Teddy's going to bring, some experience to the room, some leadership. So we're really excited for both quarterbacks. We're always looking at every position, and quarterback's another one, but we like the 2 we have.
Yeah, well, when you say 2 before your quarterbacks, you really don't like either one. So
right.
We get it. Sounds great, but you don't have 2 quarterbacks. You have 1 quarterback or you have no quarterback, which is why this was an interesting move to me because Denver has notoriously struggled at that position, and you had 2 on the board who were very highly rated. I mean, you got to give a 6th-round pick for Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, Teddy's a nice player, but he's not the future of this franchise. And obviously, you wouldn't have done that if you believed in Drew Lock. So methinks that there might be a little bit to this Aaron Rodgers situation.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the salary cap hit for Aaron, to make it work, 15 teams are out. They can't get him.
Yeah, right, of course.
And another 8 have, there's just not that many openings. I mean, even Las Vegas gets mentioned, and they've got Derek Carr, who's more than capable. So the 2 that jump out to me are Washington and Denver. Now, because Chicago was in that group, but that's and by the way, Green Bay's not trading him to Chicago.
Well, right. So. I mean, why Washington either? Like, to Greg Jennings' point, they're not going to send him somewhere in the NFC.
Well, it's interesting. You would think no, but if the Giants did a deal with Philadelphia last night, like if you...
Yeah, but that was a draft
I know.
Like, that's like sending Aaron Rodgers, future first ballot Hall of Famer, who just won MVP.
But listen, if you have an untenable situation and you get a ton of picks, it is interesting.
It wouldn't surprise me, but I would think that they would tend to lean towards an AFC team.
Given a choice?
Yeah.
No question. You don't want to face Aaron again. You don't want him to be the roadblock to your success.
We were talking about it in the break, and what's going on with Aaron Rodgers and how it gets to this point. Again, it's the same thing we were talking about with the Seahawks, and this isn't the first time we've started talking about the relationship between the Packers and Aaron Rodgers deteriorating. I don't have sympathy for organizations when it comes to these situations. Like, unless this star is a bad guy, which we know Aaron isn't.
He's difficult, but I don't think
But there's a difference between being a bad guy and being difficult, right?
Yeah.
You know a lot of talent. I know a lot of talent. I don't know a lot of not difficult talent.
I wouldn't say I'm difficult.
I don't think that you're difficult at all. I actually think, I don't think I'm very difficult. And I think most people who work with me would say that. I don't think you're very difficult either.
Thank you.
Now, there's very difficult talent that I know. But that's what it is. And if you are in a talent business, which the NFL is...
By the way, the actor guy, great actor, Christian Bale.
Yes.
Okay, he's great in everything.
Yes.
He's got to deal with it. Give him a private room or something. Give him his own trailer or something.
If you're in a talent business, then you understand you might just run into somebody who's great, who's excellent, but is also difficult. And sometimes you may have the pleasure of working with someone who's great and is not difficult.
Tom Hanks.
Sure, but I'm sure Tom has some standards for things that he wants as well. Maybe he wants his vanilla candles in his room. Make sure the vanilla candles are in his room.
Hey, it's like Van Halen. Green M&Ms or we trash the hotel room.
Or it's over. And I don't think that is unreasonable. Now, maybe I've spent too much time in LA, but in a talent business, you sometimes have to accommodate without reason. Like, this is what he wants. Make him happy. He's the MVP of the league.
But
he's in his prime. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. You're not going to do better than him.
I know, but corporations don't like that. They like control. That's the nature of...
I understand that, which is why I have no sympathy for them. Because time and time again,
I would say this.
The talent is what provides the winning, which is what provides the existence of the corporation. So you got to...
You know what it feels like?
Circular motion of shaking hands.
It feels like a whizzing contest. So we're going to draft the quarterback. Oh, really? I'm going to say I hate you. Oh, really? We're going to draft a reach corner. Oh, really? it feels like now it's like, oh, so you reached on a corner. I'm interested to see what Green Bay does today with their picks because they got a lot of picks left.
But you know what threw me off yesterday was the report that they told Aaron Rodgers they were going to trade him, because you know how I feel about that. Organizations do not have to say things like that. You don't have to say, we're never going to cut you, man. We're never going to trade you, or we are going to trade you. Why paint yourself in the corner? There's no value to that. You don't know if you're going to be able to trade him. You don't know if you're going to have to run into a situation where you have to cut someone. Why do you make these promises? Because then you look like a liar, and that breaks trust even more. There's no value to that. Right. I just think it's like a situation where normally it just comes down to communication, respect, and you got to be a little accommodating to stars. It's just the way it goes. I love the Steelers pick yesterday. So the Steelers let James Conner go in free agency. Needed to fill a hole at running back, and they did that. They selected Alabama's running back Najee Harris with the 24th overall pick.
Hard runner doesn't fumble. Hard runner.
This is the first time since taking Rashad Mendenhall in 2008 that they've selected a running back in the first round. GM Kevin Colbert said they were very excited that Harris was available for them, and that was a very easy decision to take him. I know this is the pick that Steelers fans wanted, and they're getting a very high-quality player and high-quality human being. He held a draft party yesterday at the homeless shelter he and his family lived at for several years when he was a child. He stuck around to take pictures with everyone, including the pizza delivery man. So he's a player that's also very involved in the community and wants to be a good representation for the team as well. So I love this pick.
You know what? I could make an argument. Landon Dickerson from Bama, the center. I saw a stat this morning on Twitter that was very interesting. And they rated the Steelers' offensive line in run blocking. And they said, before you always blame running backs, and it was like 8th, 12th, 17th, 28th, 31st. Even Najee Harris needs alleys. How much of it? They better address the O-line, Joy, because that O-line last year, for all those running backs, was bad.
They definitely need to address the offensive line. But I like that they took him a high-level running back in the first round, though, because the identity of the Pittsburgh Steelers is a tough defense and great running backs, and they needed to get a running back. You can't ask Ben Roethlisberger to drop back and throw it 50 times a game. That's not sustainable, as they saw. And they have 7 picks remaining. Okay, so Tom Brady doesn't love draft day. He is the GOAT now, but he was not projected to be that good when he was entering the draft. Obviously, notoriously went in the 6th round. And he has a very famous combine picture, infamous, I should say, that's often used to motivate prospects as they start their NFL careers. He is not thrilled that it gets brought back up every year. He tweeted, "Annual post Tom's shirtless combine photo on Twitter day." My favorite. It's really good. He's so good on social media. Tom, I can relate. I get body shamed 24/7, so I understand. And they also put up some side-by-sides of Mac Jones because he has kind of a, there we go.
Oh, God.
I don't remember who tweeted it, but someone was like,
that's not the number
Bill
3 pick.
Belichick has a type. You know what, though? It doesn't matter. We have this idea of what an athlete's body is supposed to look like. And obviously, Tom has changed his body since this infamous picture. But he also is very notorious for training in different ways. He's all about longevity and pliability instead of crushing weights. We've seen all kinds of different bodies. I mean, you look at an offensive lineman's body compared to a cornerback or a running back. Like, there's different positions. You don't have to be all muscles and abs. So be careful who you body shame. But he's so good on social media now. I love this new version of Tom.
Yeah, he's great. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.